Yes. What type of opportunity is it in this 19 trillion, and how quickly can we begin to really capitalize on it? Here's one of the scenario planning. It is that, it's subject to forward-looking statements. But here's what our team is looking at potentially on what the scenario is just for this year alone. $2.7 billion in business. It is the applications and the products that tie directly to IoE products that is about $450 million. But it's the software and services pull through, and then each one of the component parts you see on the right that add up to $2.7 billion, growing at about 40 to 50% as a projection. Now on the one hand, that's really good. On the other hand, we have to grow faster than that. I think this is a market that we should target 100% growth per year together and see how we take the leadership and completely break away from all of our peers who only started entering this market in the last 4 months. How do we bring this to life together? How do we think about this pace of change? Now, I deliberately set up the change comment early. I wanted you uncomfortable. I've never seen the IT industry move at the faster pace it is right now. And it is truly square. Also, the impact of public clouds, which we're going to talk about here in a moment. And to understand how you combine public with private, with Cisco partner clouds, with Cisco services, etc. is key. How do you take software, which will be a huge part of, we all know, this IT industry, but combine SDN and NFT with application-centric infrastructure in a way that brings these to life with what the customers want is programmability, faster speed to market, more flexibility. And what we said would be our competition 3 years ago at a Wells Fargo conference, white label. The ability to deal with white label challenges. We'll use open source, but the ability for us together to sell not against necessarily an HP or against a Dell server, but how you resell against white labels, which I think will be a large part of our challenge in the future. And if we architect this right, this is how we win with good margins. Does that make sense? Here's what I've showed you year in and year out. What's the names left to right? Almost no one makes it every 5 years. Yet Cisco and our partners have done and accelerated this. If we don't change, we'll get left behind. But now you're talking about the 6 top IT players, or 5, and how many of them will really lead meaningfully in 3 to 5 years? In my opinion, only 2 to 3. So when you think about what's going to occur, understand how tough this market's been. We hit a bump, and we will deal with it in terms of what occurred in the emerging markets with new products and some of the search volume. But watch what occurred to our peers over the last 3 years. Cisco in terms of growth on the top line, in terms of revenue year over year. And the industry, if you take that red line on the left, for the last 10 quarters has been struggling. And how many times have companies been below 2% growth versus above 3% or more? This is an industry that's in transition. It's going to be a battle. I like the way we jointly positioned it, but it is one package we've got to execute very, very effectively on. It's the ability to get these market transitions right. So we're one of perhaps as few as 2 players that are really meaningful in this market 3 and 5 years from now. And it's the ability to move to architectures, the ability to capitalize on the Internet of Everything, it's the ability to become outcome-based, and combine the tremendous strengths of software with the strengths of custom and merchant silicon in ways that others cannot do. My team is really proud of this chart. I am too. It's where we are in the server market according to the industry growth for the most recent reported quarter, versus a series of competitors that nobody thought we could compete against 4 years ago. What's missing on this? White label. White label in these public data centers occurring. And it's the ability to say, how do we meet our current generation of competitors and pivot to take on the white label players and put it in perspective that white label is not cheap. And actually, if you do it right in terms of cost of ownership, it's more expensive. But that requires us jointly, it doesn't matter what type of white label it is, any white label type of device, from the data center, switching, routing, servers, etc., your ability to say, here's how architectures play together. Your ability to think about outcome-based. And then to be able to say, nobody is going to embrace SDN like Cisco. We will make it a single network. 2 networks don't win. Virtual network on top of a physical network, The cost of maintaining that, your ability to troubleshoot, your ability to keep up in terms of maintenance changes, etc., very expensive. And this is what one of our team has outlined in terms of the actual advantage where Cisco embraces SDN versus a player in the market like Arista and a VMware combination. We're dramatically less expensive. Now this is an architectural discussion in itself that each of us has to learn how to do. And when VMware was asked who their competitors, they said they only had one, Cisco. The point that I'm making, we embrace it. We lead with it, and we do the same thing with network function virtualization in the service provider marketplace. Here's a discussion on white label. When you truly understand the cost of white label and understand all the hidden costs with it, etc., together we're dramatically less expensive. Now you know where I'm headed. I'm asking each of us in this room to be able to sell outcomes, to position the Internet of Everything in your accounts in a way that it changes your relationship with the customers in a big way. To be able to say, here's how the architectures bring this to life, and here's how we're competing against next generation competitors. Not on a box-by-box basis, but outcomes, total cost of ownership. Make sense? Have I got you a little bit uncomfortable? A little bit. But this is what we can do together. And when you sit down with any other IT player, who else can even begin to pull these pieces together this way? Who can take these key concepts and say we're going to move merchant and custom ASICs throughout the entire network? Merchant ASICs is great for speed and generality. It is not good for performance. It is not as good for reliability. It's not as good for density. It has more cost because merchant will put a lot more transistors and devices on their ASICs, etc., with less reliability. So it's our ability to bring this to life and then to program anywhere in the network with flexibility that separates us from all the peers. Interesting comment from Steve Jobs, isn't it? Not about software, but about software, care about the hardware, the ASICs, the data center, and the network. Steve Ballmer's comment, he had one thing he would do over. He would combine software and hardware and ASICs. The ability to properly tell this story for our customers, and then transition. And instead of viewing a public cloud as a challenge or a threat, embrace it, just like we have SDN. Get the advantages the customers want in terms of flexibility, programmability, workloads wherever they want, and give them advantages that no one else can do with a combination of a Cisco partner cloud, inter-cloud capability. The ability to do this with security, the ability to do it where we sell to our customers outcomes, and then we jointly determine what combination of on-prem and off-prem type of solutions exist. Rob Boyd will be discussing this in both the tech talk on this tomorrow and also for about 15 minutes, and then also a bigger breakout tomorrow afternoon. I encourage you strongly to attend it. But the concept's remarkably simple. I saw Padma over here, lost you. When she came to work 6 years ago at Cisco, first challenge I gave her was develop a cloud strategy. And she said, where are you? And I said, we're nowhere. And today, who's number one in terms of infrastructure in the cloud? Think about that as stage one. So this is something we know how to do. But you're going to see us move much faster. Think about stage two as we build off the hybrid cloud, where Synergy puts us as the number one player already. But you begin to think about this more in terms of applications. You begin to think of it more in terms of business outcomes. The ability to implement the Internet of Everything off of it. To where we will have our partner clouds, a hybrid combination, Cisco services delivered from the cloud like we're doing today, and a tie into the public cloud. And to make this work relatively seamlessly to where you move to the world's largest inter-cloud capability. An $88 billion total available market for us together in 3 years, where without the move that we announced yesterday, we wouldn't be able to move. This is my favorite slide. I like simplicity. Rob and team really brought it home for me. Enterprise private cloud, we're doing real well as a team market. Cisco Cloud Services with Meraki, with security, the ability to really change the game in terms of collaboration. Pretty solid. You see us do more there together. And remember, most of those are sold with you helping us. Then you begin to think about a Cisco-powered partner clouds, where all of a sudden you get around the data sovereignty in every country. Because you can share this in every country in a way that no other company can do. And this is the power together that we can do that others cannot. And you can basically say, sell it as a Cisco product that you sell. You can sell it as a joint branded capability. You can sell it under your own logo. Or you can actually white label it to your own partners. This is what gets exciting. The ability is what is this? This is networking. Intelligent networking. The ability to be hypervisor agnostic, to be able to connect anything to any device in a way that no one else can do. If you only take away, and I always like to break this down to 3 to 5 points. If you only take away, let's say, 5 points from what I just said, and what Rob will delve into in a lot more detail over the next few days, and Rob, we're really proud of what you and your team did. Amazing movement. Most expansive hybrid intercloud in the world. Expansive, almost unlimited. Second is growing market for all, $88 billion. 4 times the total available market that we jointly go after today. Customer choice. They can choose whatever combination of clouds they want. And we can, much closer than anyone else, do it at a much lower cost with a different type of security prioritization, especially for key applications, which they're probably going to want to run on a Cisco-powered partner cloud. Open ecosystem. Open, 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 open. And leveraging our innovation. Now, how many people think this is a good idea? Quick show of hands. How many do not? Last year at the Gold Partner Conference, half the people in the room were uncomfortable with us going here, and we listened. However, the market moved rapidly, and we have to change. And you know where I'm headed. Anytime you change, it makes you uncomfortable. We have to change together so we do not get left behind. We have to change together, not by ignoring or viewing market transitions as bad things, but embrace software as a service, embrace architectures, embrace clouds, and do it in a way that no other company in the world can do. That's what I'm proud of. Now, this is going to be a battle. I don't want to say it's a given because we do our own custom ASICs we're going to win, or it's a given because of outcomes, results that we're going to win, or the ability literally to have the best partner ecosystem in the world committed to your profitability and your growth. But boy, I like that versus what anybody else in the world has. These are quick snapshots of some of the quotes from yesterday. And again, it's the opening stage. The ability to look, as the street said, that will send ripples throughout the cloud sector. The ability of leveraging our partners to literally sell cloud services. I like this one that basically said, should make our position in the cloud as hot as Las Vegas in the summer, and put the company in a position to lead this emerging business market. From computer reseller news, obviously the most important dollars in this room. Massively public cloud offensive that really talks about how we return to disrupting IT market one more time again. Our ability together to have the courage to make this change, even though it makes every one of us uncomfortable. When Rob rolled it out and we all got behind him, everybody in the company wanted to move very fast until they said, well, this affects me. You're going to have the same experience in your own crews. And yet you've got to have the courage to see where the market's going and the courage to move. The ability to see around corners is what we do as a company better than anyone else. I use this purely as a proof point of what we do well. We listen to our customers, listen for market transitions, understand the power of architectures. In May of 2005, read the article, we basically said our short-term growth will be built around data, voice, video coming into the intelligent network. We then basically said the next major opportunity for us would be data center. At a time people weren't even talking Cisco and data center synonymously except a switch in there. We said virtualizations of services and resources will happen. And you will see application-aware networks to really change the benefits for customers. It's that ability to see around the corners and then put in place where we're going to go that powered our growth from 2005 to 2010. The ability to see virtualization when we came together with great partners like EMC and NetApp to really go into the market in the data center. The ability to combine that with our server technologies and the network in a way that no one else could. And you saw the results we got from there. What we've been talking about, especially over the last year, is about application-centric infrastructure. It's about application and results. The ability to combine applications with the network, with scale, because you saw the scale numbers I talked about, with security. This is where we're going to go as a company. This is where that inter-cloud fits so well where we're going to go. This is one of Bruce's slides, and he's going to take you to the next step. The ability to how we together, I'm not asking you to do something we want to do ourselves. How we win together as we move from selling products to technology, to architectures, to business solutions. To get the solutions, you've got to change business process, to business outcomes. With services together at a 5-to-1 ratio. That's the opportunity in front of us. I said at the beginning, if I didn't make you uncomfortable, I hadn't done my job. Pace of change, it is exponential compared to what any of us have seen in this market before. You will see us together be the disruptor, period. You will see us catch market transitions like cloud and mobility and services and social and SDN and NFV and focus on outcomes and embrace them better than anyone else does to get those outcomes. If we execute right, we will leave our joint competitors behind. And I apologize, I just love to compete. It's nothing more exciting than what we're entering into now. And the Internet of Everything, it is network-centric. It is about intelligence throughout the network. It's ours to win. And I'm not minimizing the challenges and the hurdles we have to get over together. But it will be ours to win together with the best partners ecosystem in the world. 2014, looking back 3 to 5 years from now, will be the inflection point. If we execute well together we will represent the #1 IT company in terms of how our customers view us. It will require us making changes that will make you uncomfortable. And can make us uncomfortable. You have to take the risk. You have to take it head on in terms of where you're going to go. We can and we will win together. How many of you believe we can do it together? Just a quick show of hands. Can I ask you to stand up for a moment? Can I ask you to if you believe we're going to win? So you're always finding new opportunities. Bruce, I told you I would get a standing ovation. I get $100 as well. Come on up, Bruce. Thank you very much.